We've got a massive trade update from the Portland Trailblazers on the status of Jerami Grant, as there's been some rumors swirling that the Lakers could be a possible destination for him. And Rui Hachimura was playing great basketball today against France, and Japan was on their way to an upset, but not before some questionable calls led to Hachimura's early exit. What's good, y'all, and welcome to another Lakers Digest video. I'm your host, Okechi Apakama, and before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already to get those Laker updates. Now, with that out of the way, let's hop straight into today's topics, as Grant could be traded before the season. So, we've got some more information on Jerami Grant, as the rumors have been swirling left and right about him going to possibly the Lakers. And this is from a Portland Trailblazers beat reporter saying that the Trailblazers' goal is to trade Grant or Simons before the season begins. And obviously the Lakers are one of the teams known to be interested in Grant, and there'll be plenty of teams interested in Simons as well. So as far as for the Lakers are concerned, they're possibly more looking towards Jerami Grant, as they probably wouldn't find the right value to trade for a guy like of Anthony Simons' caliber. But as far as Jerami Grant is concerned, he is the guy that the Lakers are looking to slot in between LeBron James and Anthony Davis and kind of help with that defensive load, especially if you place him in that starting lineup, and so he can be able to guard those high-level wings and guards. But however, though, the Los Angeles Lakers haven't really made any headway on a deal or anything of that nature, as there has been a very high asking price for Jerami Grant services, reported as high as 2 first-round picks for a guy like Jerami Grant, and then he also has that massive contract that he still has to play out with a player option towards the end of that. So that has a lot of teams kind of pushing it to the side and not really engaging too much, as they're waiting for that asking price to come down. Now, something like this could happen with now that the Portland Trailblazers is kind of putting a little bit of a deadline out there, as this could possibly lower the price for a guy like Jerami Grant services. And maybe there's some people around the NBA that know a little bit more than we do, as Zach Lowe, who is a well-known reporter out there, was talking on his podcast saying that should we start pitching Jerami Grant Laker jerseys? And he kind of said that in a little bit of a joking manner, but obviously people are thinking, like, was he serious about that? Does he know a little bit more than he's leading on to? As kind of in that setting there, he was just kind of playing it off as a joke, but then that could be a real thing for the Lakers, especially if the asking price for Jerami Grant does continue to lower here, if there is going to be a deadline. So for the Los Angeles Lakers, I still don't think this would be the right deal to make, mostly because I don't think Jerami Grant is going to be the guy to put you over the top, as if you were to trade for him, you will have to trade multiple players to match up with salary because of the whole second apron rules and everything of that nature. So the Lakers wouldn't be able to trade. They'd have to trade about at least maybe 2 or even 3 for one player of Jerami Grant's services, and then hopefully maybe find another team to deal with, because they are not going to want a guy like D'Angelo Russell back. So you're going to have to get a little bit creative when you're filling out the money and filling out what type of players the Portland Trailblazers would want back, as they have a bevy of guards currently on their roster with guys like Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe. So trading them another guard, like maybe like a Hood Schifino or even a Gabe Vincent, maybe not work for the Portland Trailblazers. So the Lakers would have to maybe find a third team to figure out and find the needs for a Portland Trailblazers team that is clearly going to be on the rebuild for next season and probably the season after that. So the Lakers right here, they're in a very interesting spot, as they haven't really made any moves whatsoever, besides obviously their the new rookies coming in. But as far as making a trade, Lakers have to be smart here, because they only have a limited amount of assets, and if you make the wrong trade just because you haven't made a move, then things turn out to be bad, and you can't really fix the issue down the road because of the whole first apron and second apron restrictions. So the Lakers have to be smart about this when coming to this Jerami Grant trade scenario, and if a deal that makes sense works, maybe you can make it for Jerami Grant, but then I am not particularly sold, mostly because of his massive contract that you'll be paying out post LeBron James maybe, and then also you're gonna have a guy who's going past 30 and is maybe a little bit on the decline, as he is not on the upswing of his career, more on the downswing. And you'll be trading out a guy like either Jared Vanderbilt or Rui Hachimura, two guys who I think are young and improving and still have room to grow. Now, speaking of Rui Hachimura, that is my next topic here, as Rui plays well, then gets ejected. So, Rui Hachimura and his home country of Japan played against the French national team, which are obviously the hometown kids. And they were obviously in an electric atmosphere as France was taking on Japan. And Japan was up to the challenge, due in large part to Rui Hachimura and his tremendous play. As I said he got ejected, but that was not until the fourth quarter. But before that, Hachimura was balling out. He had about 24 points to go off of, 10 of 16 shooting from the field and 3 of 5 from 3, which is very important, as I'm going to continue to utter probably this whole offseason, as JJ Redick wants Hachimura to take more 3-pointers. And if you're seeing games like this where he's taking 5, 6, 7, 8 threes, that is a very great news for the Los Angeles Lakers. They want a guy like Hachimura to take and make these 3-point shots. So he was playing extremely well, and then he was ejected at the fourth quarter with about, I believe, 8 or 9 minutes left to go. And Japan was only down 2 at that point. And once Hachimura was called for an unsportsmanlike foul, which was the second of his game, and then he was thrown out of the game, which was wild for a guy like Hachimura, as he's only had 3 career technicals and he's never been ejected in an NBA game yet in his career. So for him to get thrown out in this nature is probably a little bit due to the FIBA rules and just how a little different they are from the NBA rules. But still, you got to think twice just a little bit, just because France was the home team and obviously they were the hometown favorite. So maybe a little bit was played in there, but I don't want to be leading on too much about that. But as far as Rui Hachimura is concerned, he played tremendous basketball, being one of Japan's only NBA players now that I believe Yuta Watanabe is not on the NBA team. So he was doing tremendous work for that team. And then even look at some of these plays. So look at him. This is against Victor Wembanyama, where he really, this is early in the game, where he was sizing both him and even Rudy Gobert up.
Knocks down the long two.
Getting to his spots, taking up mid-range shots, getting that three-level score that we know he's capable of doing. So that was just Hachimura and just the way he's been kind of growing and developing his game. He's shooting with a lot of confidence, which is great to see, because we're going to need him to take those shots with confidence once we get to that regular season and those big games down in the playoffs as well. So we're hoping that Hachimura can carry over this progression. I don't believe that Japan has too many options to really move on. So there's probably going to be maybe about one more game for Hachimura as Japan will close out pool play. But at least for Rui Hachimura, he's able to get some of these games in, play really well, and showcase against some really other high-level NBA talented guys out there. So we know Hachimura's got the ability and he's got the know-how. He's just got to put it all together and then obviously compete on the defensive end, and that's kind of where a lot of people are kind of stuck here. So there's kind of a bit of an argument going on whether the Lakers should be coveting a guy like Jerami Grant or keeping a guy and developing a guy like Rui Hachimura. And I'm more of the on the Hachimura side of things, as he's a bit younger, on a bit more likable contract, and he's a guy that's still developing and still growing as a player. But we'll see what happens if the Lakers do end up trading for Grant or don't even at all. So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below of what you think the Lakers should do. Should the Lakers trade for a guy like Jerami Grant, with possibly giving up a guy like Vando or Rui Hachimura in the deal? Or should the Lakers, they stand pat, try to look to develop a guy like Hachimura a little bit more and try to get more out of him, as he's definitely in his younger years? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And then also, one more thing, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. There's about 78% of you guys who are not subscribed to the channel. If you guys want more of those Laker updates and news, especially in the slow period, you guys want to make sure you guys are subscribed to Lakers Digest for all of it. Now, with that out of the way, let's end this video, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama. I'll see y'all next time.